Hi, it's Doug from Rise Above Performance Training. Summer's here, and you know what that means. It's bench press season. So I'm getting some young athletes coming back in, and one of the biggest questions I get is, when can I bench press? And usually I say, let me see your push-ups. So there are some steps you want to take before you go right away and start doing a bench press. The bench press, obviously, it's not too complex of an exercise, but you have to have the right components in terms of technique, overall strength, and then definitely stability, primarily in the shoulders. So we're going to kind of go over the steps to the bench press. This isn't how to do a bench press, it's more or less the steps getting to the bench press. So the first thing I like to do with my athletes, especially if they're brand new, is do a push-up. And I like the elevated bar for a few reasons. One, it obviously gives us kind of a measuring stick that we can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and make sure the athlete's successful in doing the push-up properly. Also, two, they're going to be able to grip the bar, so it's going to be a little bit more, instead of having their hands flat, they'll be able to kind of grip the bar in the same grip that they use for the bench press, just completely inverted. So when they do this, what I'm looking for is your bench press grip in the width, and making sure they kind of tuck their elbows just like they would in the bench press, and seeing if they can move their whole body together. If the athlete's doing something like this, or their shoulders are flopping around, they're not that strong, we got to kind of change it, probably raise this up until they're successful. What we want to see is their shoulders down, locked in, tight butt, and they're literally pulling themselves to the bar at the back and then squeezing away with their chest. So their whole body's moving together, and their shoulder stability is there, and their core tightness is there as well. The second phase I like to do is then I'd probably move on to some type of suspension type push-up. This is going to count on the shoulders a little bit more than a normal bar push-up. So you can use a TRX. I like to use the blast straps a little bit more, but I'll just demonstrate on the TRX. So the hands are going to be out. Again, you're going to tuck the elbows in. So this is also manageable in terms of the degree of difficulty. We can go further forward and make it easy, or walk back and make it harder. And what I'm looking for here is primarily the same thing. I want to see them control down, be able to stabilize for a second here, and press away. So the arms are going to be wobbling around a little bit more because of the shoulder muscle activation and the stability needed to perform this in a straight line. So after that, sometimes I will do like an uneven push-up just to see if they need a little bit more shoulder stability. I'll show this. But usually in both these cases, if they're successful there, we can move on. But I like the uneven push-up because it's a little bit more, gives that extra dynamic of adding a little bit more core stability, but also more shoulder. Because the unevenness, your body might drop a little bit more on one side, so you can be coming down and dropping a little bit more. And that means you just got to coordinate with the core. So again, you want to tuck everything in, tighten your butt, keep your head neutral, control your body down, and press away. The arm on the floor is obviously going to press away a little bit more than the arm on the ball. So I would have them maybe do 5 reps on each side for a total of 10. And you can see this arm is moving around a little bit. Just did a bunch of upper body work, so I'm a little bit fatigued, but moving around a little bit to stabilize that shoulder so I can do the movement correctly. After that, before we go to the bench press, I like to see a lot of dumbbell work. So dumbbell, pretty common exercises, and I'll show a few variations. But what the dumbbells do, they allow you to stabilize a little bit more, because that's what we talked about we really need in the bench press. But also the setup for the bench press is important. So this is where we can teach the athlete that, one, they need to have their feet rooted in the ground. So whether they screw them in, kind of tighten their butt, however they want to do it, they got to be down. You'll see like some kids have one leg out here, or very mixed, and they don't use their legs at all. So this is where we teach them how to use their legs. The second thing is we teach them to tighten their butt. There may be a little arch in here, but you want to keep a nice tight butt. The last thing is kind of keep their shoulders down. I'm not a big fan of super retraction, but just keeping them down. Just stable, because the most common thing I see is sometimes is people pressing and their shoulders are wobbling all over the place. So I'll have them start in their program with a 2 dumbbell chest press simultaneously. So again, we get the setup, feet on the ground, tight butt. I like a nice turn in, maybe 45-degree angle, shoulders pulled in, and I want them to row the weight down with their back. When they feel a little stretch in their pec, I have them squeeze up. I tell them to think about like compressing a spring. So they have a big heavy spring, they want to get down here, they don't want to rest, and they squeeze up. After the athlete's proficient with that, I'll maybe have them do an alternating press where I lock down one arm and have them move
the opposite side. Then they lock down this side and they'll move. What you'll see sometimes on their weak side, when they get to a certain point, almost like a sticking point, the body will drop. So they have to kind of fight it with their core strength and their leg strength, and also their shoulder stability. Lastly, I'll have them do a single dumbbell chest press. This adds just the next level of instability. They're going to have to tighten their opposite side. They're going to control down. Again, if I get to this point and I'm weak, I'm going to be rolling off the side. So I got to stay tight. I feel a little stretch and squeeze up. Again, we're looking for shoulder stability, body stability. I'm not wobbling around and pressing up. Then you'll have them do a few sets on each side. Over the weeks when they become proficient with that one, then we'll try out the bench press. So there you have it. Give those a shot, and by the end of the summer, you should be bench pressing away.